I think we won the battle as far as I'm concerned, right? Those milestones, and then you'll immediately be in
the Rumble investing in Bitcoin, publicly disclosed. Chris, thank you for coming on. For everyone who doesn't know, this is Chris Pavlovski. You look younger and younger every time I see you. You and Trump get younger with age. It's wild.
We got a little younger after the last elections. That's what it was.
CEO of Rumble, for anybody who might not know that. I took this interview so seriously, I had to shave my beard so I look a little less haggard and ragged. Sir, how goes the battle?
It goes. It's I think we won the battle as far as I'm concerned right now. I think we got to take that battle to different pastures, like Canada, see what we can do over there. The US is looking pretty good, I think.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, and I'm watching Bongino as regularly as everybody else. Yeah, there has been a significant victory on the American front, and going to keep a little bit of pressure on the Trump administration not to hire too many swamp creatures back into an admin. Taking it to Canada is the goal now. But Chris, latest developments with Rumble. There have been a bunch. I mean, you talked about it yesterday with the quartering, and some people might not know who Dr. Disrespect. You signed a big gamer for Rumble. What does that mean for those who don't know who he is, and what does it mean for Rumble?
Yeah, so he's one of the largest gamers, I think, on the internet, top 5 at least, some days top 1, number 1. And we have been really pushing the gaming sector a lot recently. And what I wanted to do is really kind of give it an injection, the same way we kind of gave Rumble an injection when we brought on Dan Bongino. We wanted someone to really take that pole and really kind of lead the gaming side. And that's what we did with Dr. Disrespect. He's now going to start on December 2nd on Rumble. He'll be exclusively providing content to Rumble Premium. So he'll be multi-streaming both on YouTube and Rumble, and then exclusively providing that content to Premium. So he's going to be bringing his whole Champions Club to Rumble and all his viewers to Rumble, which, you know, just like Dan, when he came to Rumble early on in late 2020, it was the rising tide that raised all boats. And that's kind of the effect that we're looking for here in the gaming community. We got politics on lock. The next 2 categories are going to be crypto and gaming. Those are that's what I'm really focused on when it comes to growing Rumble. So that's what we're going to be stepping the gas pedal on right now.
And we're going to get to actually the crypto part in a bit as well. But, you know, a lot of people think that Rumble is just a free speech platform, and so good for conservative commentators or the left-wing commentators who get turned into right-wing extremists. Geez, Dr. Disrespect. He does streams that are like 7 hours long. They get close to 1 million views, sometimes if not more. Have the gamers expressed any issues that they have on YouTube in terms of why Rumble is the alluring alternative, if not becoming the mainstream platform?
I think the issues that people see when it comes to Rumble is that we don't have that viewership that other platforms have in that category, and that's exactly what he's going to help do. He's going to help drive that viewership, help raise bring in the tide to raise all the boats. That's probably the largest complaint. Obviously, we have like product features that we need to really kind of integrate. One of them is going to be gifted subs. That's going to be very important for the gaming community, and we're hoping to roll that out here before the end of the year. In terms of everything else, I think we're pretty up to speed now that we have like the super low latency for all our premium members and super high quality streaming. I think we're really ready for it. This is the future for 2025 on Rumble, is really attacking these 2 categories. Really, ultimately, kind of building something that is unique, something a little different than YouTube and very different than Netflix, and bringing in kind of like a hybrid model of let's call it a YouTube Premium / Netflix. The one thing that YouTube Premium doesn't provide is having exclusive content with creators. We want to take it a step further and provide that through Rumble Premium. So anybody that's a Rumble Premium subscriber is not only going to get premium experience, which is access to early features, the green check mark, a no advertising experience, but they're also going to be able to get like high quality content, exclusive content, maybe documentaries, maybe movies in the future, whatever we can attract on the platform. It'll be open to whoever wants to bring content into premium. I believe we can have something very special both on this hybrid experience of YouTube and Netflix. That's where we're putting the gas, pouring the gas right now, and that's where we're stepping on the pedal. And Dr. Disrespect's the latest addition to that.
Actually, just one quick question, because this is coming from Encryptus on our local side, and it's going to dovetail into another question. What other tech products verticals Rumble is going into, and do they want to hire a highly skilled AI expert? Chris, I might have to give you this. I'm going to give you this guy's name afterwards.
Yeah,
not publicly.
Pass that on, because we're really kind of pushing the pedal on recommendations in AI. to try to help discovery a lot. So that's something that's very important to us right now. In terms of like new products that we're going to be offering in the new year, and I announced this about I've said this a few times now. We want to introduce a creator program that is going to be unlike any other creator program out there. Early next year, we're going to be launching our own creator program, which I think can revolutionize the way in which we're going to pay out creators. It's going to be very rewarding to creators that work very hard, put in the hours, and provide exclusive content to Rumble Premium. That's something that we're really keen on launching with our new dashboard for creators. So, you hit certain metrics and you do certain things within Rumble, you'll then qualify, and it won't be a subjective qualification. This will be a very objective qualification based on milestones. You hit those milestones, and then you'll immediately be enrolled into this creator program, which will then provide you far greater revenue opportunities than you typically see on any other platform. So that's what we're driving towards as the new thing for Rumble in early 2025. And gaming and crypto are the two kind of categories that we're looking to propel that.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question because I know that, first of all, there was a lawsuit filed in terms of the advertiser boycott or the organized campaign to demonetize Rumble as a platform. Anything public that you can discuss in terms of the status of that lawsuit and how that interplay now is working with Rumble Studio and the real-time auction for ads on Rumble Studio?
No update that I can provide publicly yet. Where it did leave off is that obviously we've updated our lawsuit to include more defendants. And the GARM lawsuit obviously saw GARM disband itself a couple days after we filed. So no updates yet. What we did say in our earnings call recently is that we did get one advertiser that did cancel us come back. I'm unable to say the name yet, but they'll be deploying ad budget in December. So things are changing, and I'd like it to be faster, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race. We did get one advertiser back in the fold, which is great news, and it's a big, very well-known advertiser that everyone knows.
Well, and it happens very slowly, then all at once when they realize, this is where the eyeballs are for long format content. And I don't care what they say. People want to advertise where the eyeballs are. Set aside the political discrimination that they've been engaging in. Second Amendment channels, Chris. Have you? Is Rumble looking at those? Because I know that they systematically get demonetized on YouTube, and they're massive and have wildly engaged followings.
Oh no, we absolutely are. This is a very important category to us. That's one I already kind of consider part of the free speech category in a way. Like in terms of like drift categories like gaming and crypto, I think they're very much different than what we currently have. But in terms of the Second Amendment gun tube, we're all in on that. We're looking at as much as we can do on that front, talking to as many people as possible to see how we can do that and make that work.
Okay, now last question before we get into the crypto Rumble investing in Bitcoin. Some people are concerned that Locals will cease to exist, that it'll be merged into the aggregate of Rumble. Locals is going to continue to exist as a standalone product, standalone community?
Yeah, so we're at this point, what we're trying to do is give them greater options on Rumble. You can do a lot of these things on Rumble. If you continue to want to use Locals, you're more than welcome to. We find that the bigger complaint right now is that people don't like promoting Rumble and then Locals. It takes away a lot of the oomph. We're trying to get all those features into Rumble as quickly as possible. So we'll see where that goes. As of this moment right now, we're all about keeping those two brands integrated as much as possible, but also separated. In the sense that platform there's zero plan right now to remove that platform. It's here to stay for the moment.
Netflix ran the one of the Paul brothers, I forget which Paul it was, Mike Tyson fight, lagging, delays, spinning wheels. Rumble is very well, I mean, it's already ahead of the game with Power Slap, or at least, it was. Any possibility of getting into that market and not siphoning, but competing with the Netflix?
I do think Netflix is taking pages out of our book. We're the first ones to do that when bringing in slap fighting on Rumble live. I think that Netflix is going to become more like Rumble in a lot of ways, and Rumble with Rumble Premium is kind of becoming a little bit more like them. And I think there's going to be a convergence of all these markets. It's going to take a couple of years, but it's going to happen. And you're going to see basically a lot of different platforms with a lot of different exclusive content. And it's almost going to be like cable TV with different, cable networks. You're going to have different platforms with their own types of content. And I think a lot of these companies are here to stay, whether it's going to be YouTube or Netflix or Rumble. all these companies eventually will converge and they'll all have their own lanes with their own content, and everyone's going to pick what they like and what they don't like, and kind of go into, maybe flip flop between those different platforms, or maybe be dedicated to only one. But I do see the 1970s and 80s cable networks kind of being the new platforms of today's. I think that's kind of where the market's going to go in the next decade. Remains to be seen, but that's kind of what we're betting on, and that's kind of how we're designing things here at Rumble to go forward.
Okay, very cool. And now the Rumble investing in Bitcoin, publicly disclosed in Investopedia was talking about it, planning to allocate part of its cash reserve to Bitcoin. I'm going to get a second part of that question, but what's that about and how far along is that?
Well, we just approved with our board that we're going to have a Bitcoin treasury strategy. We're all in on Bitcoin as a company. We love this community. Just like we're moving into the gaming community, we're going into the crypto community. And one of the things that I think is very important is to not be disingenuous when you enter these communities. You got to really mean it, really want to be in it. And I think having a treasury, of a Bitcoin treasury, shows how much we mean it, and how bullish we are on this community for Rumble. When you look at Bitcoin and you look at Rumble, you almost kind of feel the same kind of ethos, like freedom of speech, Bitcoin, decentralization. It all kind of goes hand in hand. These are two things that operate very close to each other. If there's any company that's going to step into this first and do it first, it has to be Rumble. We are the first brand platform to do it that I can think of publicly. It's something that I think is very important. It shows how genuine we are about this community. It also shows that we're pretty confident about the forward years of our business and where it's going to go. I'm excited. I think that this is a pretty cool move that I think many other companies in the future will follow. I do think this will be a corporate strategy amongst the biggest companies in the world one day. I think Rumble being one of the first movers is important. That's what we wanted to do. We want to show our commitment to the community. We want to show that we believe in it. We want to be there first.
And a treasury means, is it just a hard investment? I don't know. Some of these platforms offer a bit of interest on the investment, but is it just investing a fixed amount in Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's just taking some of our excess cash that we have that we won't need and moving some of that into holding Bitcoin instead of holding cash.
Okay. And the other question that this flows into is in terms of first of all, other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, any Litecoin, what's the other one there? Ethereum, or is it going to be specific to Bitcoin?
This is exclusively for Bitcoin.
Okay. And then the other question that people are asking is crypto transactions on the platform. I have no idea what goes into allowing that, but is that on the horizon for Rumble?
This is a big step that we want to take. We're definitely looking for a partner right now, and we're talking to a few in order to integrate. And one of the things we're looking for is a partner that's going to be using our cloud. If we're going to support their platform, we want them to support ours, and that's something we're very, very much looking at right now, and something that I do want to integrate as soon as possible. Yes, we love the ability for people to tip and to be able to subscribe in crypto. We'd like the ability to pay creators in crypto. How we're going to manage that and how we're going to do it remains to be seen, but it's something that I'm very, very keen on getting done and finding the right partner to do it.
Okay, very cool. And something that you talk about a lot, and I don't think people fully appreciate what it means, or at least what the options are. Rumble Cloud Services is in fact competing with AWS. You've built your own cloud, you've built your own services so that people no longer have to be reliant on the highly politicized AWS. Can you flesh that out for what it means for people who might not know that they even need to or want to use Rumble Cloud Services?
Yeah, so Rumble Cloud is a competitor to AWS. It's a competitor to Oracle's. It's a competitor to Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. And many others. Generally speaking, as we all saw what happened to Parler many, many years ago, companies like Amazon that don't carry the same ethos and the same values as Bitcoin or as Rumble will, press a button, shut you down if they want to. We came up with Rumble Cloud. We've been building it for the last 4 years, and we launched it this year publicly for the public to use earlier this year. I think is second quarter of this year or late first quarter. The idea of that is basically giving everybody the option to pick a cloud that has the same values that they might have in terms of freedom of expression and how we do business, rather than the big tech companies. I believe the current market in the cloud business is like an oligopoly. It is an oligopoly controlled by like a couple big companies and control the majority of the market, and they price gouge quite a bit. So not only do you have the ethos that you have with Rumble on Rumble Cloud, but you also have the ability to really cut costs as well. And I think there's an opportunity there to save people a lot of money by moving over to Rumble Cloud. So both on the ethos and obviously on the price competitiveness, that's what kind of where we're attacking when it comes to Rumble Cloud.
This is a question from our locals community, Coddlefish, and I think it was on the table a little while ago. Have you considered short clips like Reels added to the platform? I recalled that Rumble was working on something like the equivalent of Shorts.
Yeah, so we're definitely, that's something that we've been working on. That got delayed to earlier next year. We reshifted our priorities. We're really focused on gifted subs, reposting, and the new creator dashboard and the new creator program. So we want to get those out the door before we get that out the door. So once we get those out the door, a lot more attention will be towards Rumble Shorts.
All right, and now for those who might have missed the last earnings call, and if you know the numbers offhand, viewership, it's an amazing thing when you see like the top 3, the top 5 live streams on Earth or on Rumble. The most important metrics for Rumble: new users, daily users, unique users. Can you share those numbers and how they're evolving over quarters?
Yeah, so the last quarter, we had 67 million monthly active users that we reported, with the majority in US and Canada. I think that's a real important data point, is that the majority of our users are US based. They're not coming from anywhere else in the world. Second, we had record revenue. We also reported that we're on our way to having, sequential revenue growth again here in Q4. For us, it was a very exciting quarter. I'm really looking forward to 2025 more than ever. Now with all the new things kind of coming around, introducing all these new product features, I think we'll be able to have a really exciting year.
Rumble is still out in Russia, not in Russia, still not in France unless you have a VPN, still not in Brazil. Has there been any headway on getting back into the Brazil market?
No, not unless we start censoring creators, and that's not something we're going to do. But I do hope that the US will, now with the new administration incoming, things are going to change around the world, and I'm pretty confident that they will. So hopefully we see change on that front. But Canada, on the other hand, what a mess.
Well, I don't want to get you into trouble. I don't know if I'm in trouble with the government yet. We expect elections in 2025. Those who think everything would change under the Conservatives, maybe you're right, maybe not. But what is the situation in Canada now that there were a bunch of laws passed 2023, 2024 as relates to the internet? Has it made it less competitive, or not less competitive, but more costly and less effective to be doing business in Canada?
Not yet on the law front for censorship. Not yet. I think there's a lot coming that they're proposing that is going to be very, very damaging to Canada, but I'm pretty confident they're not going to get those passed in the next year. With the momentum against the current government right now, I think we're going to see some change over there, but we need to see it sooner than later. Canada's going to get a real world of hurt. You saw that 25% tariff that
So that I'm going to talk about that a little bit afterwards. But with Canada, with Mexico, it's terrible. Trudeau will work with the Trump government, but he needs to just get out of power, as do the Liberals. The replacement is not much better, even with the Conservatives, and probably even worse with the NDP.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm afraid of in Canada? I'm afraid of what happened in France is going to happen in Canada. I'm afraid they're going to make deals with the NDP to drop out of certain districts so they can get, or Liberals will drop out of certain districts to get the vote above the 50% mark in those districts. And I'm very fearful of that. I feel like that's one route that Macron took in France, which was, I've never seen it before. He lost the popular vote by like 5 million. It was 10-5, and Le Pen still lost because of the way they managed to do the districts and pull out candidates in certain districts. I see Canada doing a really sneaky move like that. I think Canada is going to have to win by a lot more than 50% this time in order to win in the next election. I wouldn't, don't put that past these guys. They're
No. The NDP is, I think they're even sneakier than the Liberals, because at least the Liberals are in your face with it. A question from Steve Britton says, if I become a creator, will I be able to integrate with locals and Rumble Premium for exclusive content seamlessly? Also, right now, I seem to be double paying for the creator part and Rumble Premium, which seems redundant.
Yeah, so locals is you're paying for a specific creator. Rumble Premium is you're getting no ads on all creators. So it's a completely different tool and a different product. In terms of content that's there, like every creator might have their own locals, but doesn't mean they're on Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium is a completely different product than what a locals product would be for a creator. So if you love your creator, I recommend just sticking to that creator. If there's creators that Rumble Premium have, it's like it's a completely different product. I wouldn't confuse the two.
Okay, excellent. And Encryptus, another good one, which goes back to the cloud. Rumble Cloud needs a Bedrock competitor, an AI platform that is not in bed with OpenAI and their woke models. What is your take on AI and inclusion in Rumble Cloud as an offering?
It's something that we're discussing a lot. We recently provided, H100s over to another client, Sticker Mule, recently. So they're starting to use our GPUs for their AI processing. But having an actual AI product in Rumble is something that we're still working on the engine of Rumble Cloud more so than getting out some software products and some AI products. But that's something that we're definitely discussing and definitely want to integrate in the future as priorities shift.
Very cool. One last one, Chris, and then I know you've got to go. Our company is heavily involved in the music and teleproduction industry. We also have the ability to recruit new people to Rumble and support Rumble producers. I haven't been able to locate a point of contact from Rumble from Paracleric in our locals community.
So Rumble's open to everybody to register an account and be able to bring on. I'm not sure what exactly you need the contact for, but if there was more detail on like what you're looking for from Rumble on Rumble's end, that would be
And
helpful.
I tell people to tag Rumble and everybody from the team on Twitter, because I think the only other CEO on earth who's equally involved on an active basis is Elon. But you guys are very, very active in responding on.
Yeah, one of the things is we get like, thousands upon thousands of requests to talk to people in our company. And it's just like, how do you set up an account? And like, if it's something that requires like our assistance, we'll definitely assist as much as we possibly can. But like, we do have tons of requests of people saying they're going to bring so much to Rumble. And who do I talk to? It's difficult to manage all those requests and try to figure out which ones to prioritize. But we try our best. There's all of us are on X and on Truth and trying to answer as many questions as possible and help as much as possible.
Chris, it's amazing. You're doing the. I mean, I think everybody watching now appreciates there were several players who were key in turning the world around in the 2024 election, and many of them are on the Rumble platform. Rumble being one, Bongino being the other. I mean, Rumble is it's changing the world. I mean, you know it, and my goodness, it's great to see. Chris, did I forget to say anything, or is there anything you want to mention?
No, let's hope that we can help Canada here in the next year, kind of shift their direction a little bit in terms of where they've been going. It's not been good. So anything we can do to push freedom of expression in other countries and other places, I think that's kind of like the next frontier for us.